Big news, Mosse. I was watching the U.S.-Mexico game, and as we mentioned, Cindy Parlo-Cohn, the president of U.S. Soccer, was interviewed, and she dropped some big news. Come to find out that the United States, with our friends from the South, Mexico, are going to bid to joint host, the 2027 Women's World Cup. As we know, the Women's World Cup is happening this summer down in Australia and New Zealand, and the next one remains to be seen where it's going to be. But if Cindy Parlo-Cohn and the U.S. Soccer Federation and the Mexican Federation and all of us from a soccer perspective get our way, we're hosting 2027, which would mean 2026, the U.S. Men's World Cup hosted in the United States along with Canada and Mexico. And then, if they were awarded the bid, just a year later, the next summer, 2027 Women's World Cup. I would love to see this. And look, I know that there are folks out there that say, how much does this help? Well, first off, and we talked a lot about money on this show, it would make a tremendous amount of money, and FIFA loves that. And it would be yet another injection, soccer injection, that our country and culture, I think, needs. And to the extent that we can create it, which we certainly can given our infrastructure, that would be something that was good. I know that the conversation will come up, well, how does it help women's soccer to go back to a place that already is advanced relative to the rest of the world when it comes to women's soccer? And wouldn't it be better served to go to a different area of the world and bring it up there by bringing a World Cup? And that is a legitimate argument to make. I don't think that anybody out there, and this is not saying anything crazy, has, like I said, the existing infrastructure to be able to host a World Cup. I don't think that the 2026 World Cup takes anything away from the 27 World Cup. It'll be kind of, this year-long festivity, and the ending of the World Cup in 2026 is almost the beginning of the World Cup in 2027. And we all know that effect of the circus leaving town. So from a U.S. perspective, we could actually use it to our advantage to not let that flame die out, or not let it die out as quickly after the 26th World Cup, by already pushing it forward to 2027. Now, we're going to have plenty of competition. There's lots of countries and cultures out there that I think are going to put up good bids and real competition when it comes to 2027. But if the U.S. is involved in a bid for a major sporting event, and don't forget the Olympics, by the way, which we have, they are always going to be taken seriously because of the infrastructure they bring and because of the money that they can generate. And this is no different. So congratulations, at least initially here, on doing something that I think is big and is bold and can be of huge consequence going forward when it comes to not just the women's game, but soccer in America, and yet another summer of soccer, if you will. So knock on wood, it all happens. They get all their ducks in a row, and U.S.-Mexico is hosting the Women's World Cup in 2027.
Brazil is bidding for this as well.
Ooh.
So we are on opposite sides.
Ooh, my goodness. Well, listen, may the best country win.
Brazil has hosted a lot of big events recently. Obviously, the 2014 Men's World Cup, which you were at, which also meant hosting the 2013 Confederations Cup the year before. The 2016 Olympics was in Rio. Multiple Copa Americas. The Libertadores finals at the Maracanã again this year. There was already one a couple of years ago. An under-17 World Cup that kind of fell in our laps at the last minute because Peru couldn't host it. So now they're trying to add the Women's World Cup to that portfolio. But even P.S. Sundhagen came out and questioned whether Brazil is an advanced enough women's soccer country to deserve that honor. So we'll see.
You like that clip? Well, my State of the Union podcast drops every week. Subscribe now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
You like that clip? Well, my State of the Union podcast drops twice a week right here on my very own YouTube page. The only way to stay up to date is to hit that subscribe button down below. Size the day, and see you soon.